Can I ask you a question? Jimmy. Who do you think the biggest pirate of all time was?
I don't know. Wait. Wasn't it like Blackbeard?
That's right, Jimmy. That's what I want you to think.
Yeah, no, cause he was all like very big and like every single time someone talk about pirates, like he's like always like the biggest and everybody knows about him.
Stop,
and,
Jimmy,
and, like,
Jimmy,
ships are totally big and
Jimmy,
stuff,
stop. Shut the f up, Jimmy.
Yeah, okay.
The other day I was thinking about what kind of video to make, and I went a little bit back for the forwards thinking, should I make this, should I make that? But I eventually thought about why to make a video about pirates. So I began researching about it, and none to my surprise, Blackbeard came up as the first one of the results. Alright, great I thought, because he's one of the most famous pirates of the whole world, and basically everybody knows about him. So I thought, he must be very big, he must have a lot of pirates, he must have done a lot of bad things. But as I began reading about him, I discovered he wasn't very big and that he only had about 4 ships under his command, and he even only managed to plunder around 30. And that's the only goddamn thing I found out about him, because he was only a pirate for about 2 years. So I thought to myself, how the hell can this guy be so famous? And the reason why he wasn't a pirate for more than 2 years wasn't because he said, man, let me try and be a blacksmith or something else, because I don't really like the sea, I get seasick. Because he even managed to in a battle in that small amount of time. I mean, seriously, the only special thing about this guy is that he put some firecrackers in his beard when he was seizing ships. And I know back then they was thinking about, oh yeah, magic and, you know, all that stuff, and maybe they thought it was magic or something, but seriously, firecrackers. So I thought to myself, instead of doing a video about some guy who's just famous for doing almost nothing, I'd instead make a video about a person who's actually done something as a pirate. So let's just cut and actually listen to one of the biggest pirates who's ever lived. And he even got away with it to live a long and happy life. So the pirate was called Ching, and she was born in 1775. And there's a lot of confusion on where she was actually born and what her name was. But let's just be honest, nobody really gives a shit about that. We all just want to hear about the pure power this woman had. So that's why I have a proposition for you. If nobody whines about me not naming all of her names and where she may have been from, where she may not have been from, we can skip it.
Well, I'd actually like to know where she was from and like where she was born and what her name was, like what her birth.
Alright, let's continue then. Also, I'm gonna name the different people in this story with fake names, and not their real ones. Not because I need to protect them or anything, but it's because I suck on pronunciation, which you've probably also noticed by now. Plus it's damn Chinese names, so you would have a problem with it as well. I mean, unless you're Chinese, or Japanese, or any type of Asian country for that matter. Anyway, so in the story I'm gonna call Ching for Alex. So Alex was born in 1775, but not much is known about her early life, so we'll just skip that until she was 26 and working at a brothel. Brothel. No, I can't pronounce this. I'll just put it right here. Just read the word right here. Yeah, just look at it, you know, because I can't pronounce that. But there is again some dispute on how she got married. But some say that her pirate boss, Jacob, liked Alex and orders his men to plunder the brothel. Again, just look at the screen. I'm just placing it here so you can see it again. And take Alex as well. Others say that Jacob just simply walked up to her and asked if she wanted to marry him. No matter the case, he had some huge bouncing. Anyway, she got married to him, and at the time Jacob had about 200 pirate ships, which is already 50 times more than Blackbeard ever had, and gave her 50% of the control of the pirate fleet called the Red Flag Fleet. So they was now basically partners. And in less than 6 years, the 200 pirate ships would grow to 600, while each ship had about 50 to 100 pirates on it. Sadly, through all the big success they were having, Jacob managed to die, so that Alex now stood alone. But because she didn't want to go back to old life and rent herself, she decided to take control of the fleet. So what she did was ask Jacob's second in command, Ethan, if he wanted to help her in taking over the power of the fleet. Now the thing is that Ethan wasn't actually only the second in command, because before Jacob's death, Alex and him had adopted Ethan, so that he legally was their son. But now that Jacob was gone, they wasn't actually only working side by side to grab the power, but they kinda began an intimate relationship together. Now I know they're not blood related or anything like that, but it's kinda weird after calling each other mom and son. But if you're into that, I guess. Even more weird is that Ethan didn't become a pirate by choice, but he was actually captured by them. But because he was very intelligent while also being able to defend himself in a fight, He found himself very quickly rising in the fleet, until he became the second in command. So when Alex asked him to help her, he quickly accepted. And with Ethan on her side, Alex became the head of the fleet, and handled the business part while Ethan led the ships in raids. As the time went, the Valone managed to grow bigger and bigger, peaking at around 1800 ships, and about 80,000 people, including farmers who made the food, pirates of course, spies and so on. Safe to say, she had a lot of power. But you think there wasn't any rules on the ships and they were just ruthless savages just walking around and cutting off arms and legs? Well, you'd be right about the last part. But the first part, not so much, because Jesus Christ, there were rules on those ships. You really had to be careful. Now, any ship that robbed any form of value got to keep about 20% of it, while the last 80% of it went to the fleet's collective fund. I guess that's another way of saying that the boss got it. And if you thought that 80% was a lot and began getting any good ideas about trying to steal it or just wanted more, Alex had made rules for it. For example, if you were to steal any of the loot, you'd be and thrown in the ocean. And that's not even the worst, because if you were to hump anyone without the permission from the leader of your ship, you'd be and thrown in the ocean. Or fail to obey an order and you would be and thrown in the ocean. Have consensual humping time with anyone while on duty, you'd be and thrown in the ocean, while the female would get something heavy bound to her and also thrown in the ocean. And if you tried leaving the fleet, you'd get your ears removed. And that's not even all, because when the ship catches beautiful women, they'll be on sale for the men on the fleet. And if any of the men decided to buy any of these beautiful women, they'll be considered to be married. And therefore he had to treat her right. Because if he didn't, you guessed it, he'd be and thrown in the ocean. But I can kinda see how this will get misused by the women who will get purchased.
Help me! My husband didn't want to take the trash out.
What? I did that yesterday, what the hell?
You monster! Oh my! Thank you! No. Why, hello there?
What? To be honest, I can kinda see why they would wanna do that. Because you know they got captured against their own will and stuff like that, so if I was one of those pirates, I'd stay the hell to my local women in my area.
Oh boy! Local women?
All in all, it's safe to say there wasn't much f***ing around on Alex's ships. But lucky for all the ugly women though, because they had to be set free without any harm done to them. So I guess they got that going for them. Now, because many didn't like that Alex was just going around raiding everybody, they tried to attack her back. And one of those attacks was actually 2 towns that put their armies together and went to battle with her. But like many others, they was quickly defeated. But that wasn't enough for Alex though, because she was very mad. So she ordered her men over to the 2 towns, and every single man on her way. So we can kinda picture what happened after that. One of the bigger battles was when the dynasty government wanted to attack her. But because their army was way too small, they had to pay the British and Portuguese navy, as well as some German ships, to join them in attacking Alex. And for around 2 years the government would fight against them, but time after time they lost. Alex was way too strong for them. So the emperor needed to think of a different strategy. He then thought of giving Alex and almost everyone on her fleet amnesty, which means that they basically wouldn't be charged for any of the crimes that they have done. And with that strategy, the emperor hoped that the fleet would dissolve by itself. So in 1810, he did just that. But in the deal, the pirates would have to kneel in front of the government officials and give away all of their loot. And this didn't sit very well with Alex, but she still wanted to make a deal. So what she did was walk right up to the government's office, completely unarmed, but she was accompanied by 17 women and children, which is pretty smart if you ask me. And in there they worked out a deal that would dissolve the whole fleet and give up most of the ships. But in return, they got to keep all of the loot and values that they've stolen all over the years, and was allowed to join the military, and gave almost everybody amnesty, except for 376 pirates, because those pirates had done something that the government really couldn't see through. Now I don't really know what they did, but I know what happened. And of those 376 pirates, 126 of them were and 250 of them received different punishments for their crimes. Now, Alex even managed to get the noble title, Lady by Imperial Degree, which entitled her to different legal protections. But there was still a little thing that Alex actually wanted, cause she and Ethan were still technically mom and son. So she asked if they could change that and then marry the two, to which the government said, yeah, sure. So now Alex and Ethan didn't have to feel weird each Saturday night laying together. By the way, I still don't get it. Like, you've called this person mom and this person has called you son for so long, and all of a sudden you're attracted to them. It just doesn't hang together. But then again, this was 200 years ago, so they probably had another mindset. So now that the fleet had been dissolved, and Alex and Ethan was now married, Ethan decided to join the military and was given control of 200 ships that he commanded, so it wasn't that much that really changed for him. Alex also received a lot of money to distribute to her crew, to help them in the cost for moving from sea to land. Talk about being generous. I mean, after all the robbing and stealing, the government still gives them money. Who else says the crime don't pay? It kinda makes me wonder, why didn't people just become a pirate after hearing about this? I mean, it obviously pays. Alex and Ethan ended up having a child in 1813, and in 1822 Ethan died at the age of 36. So Alex then moved away and opened a gambling house that she ran until her death at 69 years old in 1844. And that's the story of the biggest pirate of all time, or if not the biggest, then at least one of the biggest. Which is why it's weird to me, because everybody knows about Blackbeard, but not many people know about her. I mean, she basically terrorized the whole country, to the point where the government had to step in, and then ended up losing to her, and was forced to let her go, with all the money she had stolen over the years, and live a long and happy life. But with that being said, she is not all unknown. There's for example a TV series called The Red Flag, and a movie called Singing Behind Scenes, and even in the Pirates of the Caribbean, where she's one of the 9 pirate lords. So I mean, she is out there, but not to the extent that she deserves. I mean, if you can call it that. You could probably see on the timeline that the video is almost over, cause you know, it is. So I should perhaps make an ending now.